we all have a certain amount of light, and maybe it's small compared to the global aura and the collective, but everybody who brings light into the world has an opportunity to raise the frequency of planet Earth. And if there's anything that we could use right now and going forward into the future, it's to raise the global aura, to raise the energy, and to raise the light. And we all have the potential to do that. Whenever you feel you can be who you are, it's almost impossible not to feel good and happy and positive and light about just being. Hi, this is Denise Matthew. I hope you're doing well. I'm back again to talk about the full moon happening at 4 degrees Gemini, and that will be happening on November 27th, 2023. So as I spoke about with the new moon earlier in the month, this is going to be a full moon that comes with definition as well. And when I talk about definition, I mean a global activation of centers of the body graph. You could say the global body graph. And this is going to be the 3420, which is a very powerful energy. This is an energy that we have been feeling sort of off and on from sort of the middle of the month on. And it is bringing this power of, busyness, of getting ahead, doing what you need to do. This is survival energy because it's part of the integration circuit. So anybody who has any of the gates in integration, like the gate 10, 20, 57, or 34, are plugging into this energy, and it's bringing some sort of a definition or something new, a new channel to your body graph. So it could be bringing energy that you're feeling differently. And it is all connected to this idea of survival, about of sort of protecting yourself, of taking care of your needs, but not necessarily with all the clarity of what exactly needs to be done, because the 3420 channel on its own. So if we look at integration as a unit, we see that all of the energies need to sort of come together to get a real picture of where it is sort of taking you in the future. And ultimately, the 3420 is one of those really important channels, because this is something that's going to be part of our future. This is where we're moving in 2027. We're moving into the class of the sleeping phoenix, which is about this power, busyness, energy to get things done, maybe not necessarily wanting to chit chat because you've got stuff to do. And that's the kind of energy that this is bringing. It's super busy. Now, it's also bringing the energy globally of a manifesting generator, or a pure manifesting generator. The only pure manifesting generator is a manifesting generator who has the 3420 channel activated. There are other iterations of manifesting generators, but the only true and pure manifesting generator is anybody who carries this energy, because it is bringing sacral energy, which is the strongest motor in the whole body graph, right to your throat. But because of that, it's easy to get burned out, especially if you're somebody who doesn't usually have an activated or a defined sacral all the time. So keep in mind that this energy can be very powerful. It can burn you out. It can kind of get you exhausted. So use it to your advantage instead of it using you. And that's sort of one of the key things that we can remember. So it can give a lot of energy to get things done, to move forward, and those types of things. But we also have the duality, because any channel that is a manifesting channel, which the 3420 is, but also this powerful channel comes with, it's a generated channel as well. So it's got this mix of manifesting as well as a generator energy. It doesn't mean that you can go out and initiate, because it is always going to be a generated channel. But it does mean that there is things happening. Things are moving a little faster because you have a motor that is directly to the throat center. And this is going to be across the board for everybody to feel into this energy, to work and to use it to your benefit, because it is a time where you can use it. The themes that this can bring are the signatures of generators and also manifestors. And this is peace, anger, satisfaction, and also frustration. So these are the overlying energies that we might be feeling in the collective and personally as well. So having said that, it could be a little bit more frenetic. It could be a little bit more kind of pushy, because we also have Mars in the gate 34, and that's really talking about Mars is an immature energy. But having said that, Mars is usually pretty happy in the gate 34 because it is getting things done. It's moving fast. It's kind of going where it needs to go. But then we also can get to the point where it becomes too much and where you're pushing and bullying and those types of things. And those are the energies you might be encountering in sort of the world around you. So taking a step back, going into your, space where it feels comfortable, where you're in your own space or into nature or wherever you feel like it's a good place to get away from everything, might really serve you well, because it can be really activated energy and frenzied energy, like I said, where it's just overwhelming. It's too much. And so you need to step back. And because of Mars being in the gate 34, like I said, it's easy to overshoot the mark, to say, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to, push everybody to do this, that, and the other thing. The thing about the full 3420 channel is that anybody who carries this, not everybody can do it like they can do it, because it is just this power and charisma and energy that is just like a powerhouse running around. And sometimes even somebody who carries this energy in their body graph can burn themselves out, because it is that powerful. Some people call it lightning in a jar. So you can use it, but it can use you very easily, because it is so intensely, as I keep saying, powerful, because it is. Now, this full moon is bringing third and sixth line energy, whereas we had earlier in the month, we had the new moon bringing second and fifth line energy. Third and sixth line energy is really talking about experimentation, adaptation, figuring out how things work. It can even talk about monetary things. It can talk about making money, figuring out how you can make money. Third line is the closest, the most closely connected to the Maya, or how we make money in the world. The other perspective is the sixth line, which says that this is deeply mutative energy that is mutating us all, that's changing the way we are as a collective in some way. How that shows up, nobody knows until it's sort of, you start going on a different trajectory, start moving in a different direction, and you don't really know why it's happening, only that you're being guided to do that. And this is what this energy can bring. It's bringing this kind of opening where you start to see, okay, there is somewhere else for me to go. There is something else I want to do. And now I can start to see that there is a path ahead, and I'm going to start moving on that. But it also can bring this jadedness of, is it really worth my while? And that's where you have to step into your inner knowing to know if it is correct for you, if it is something that you're resonating with, and it is something that inside of you, if you push away any fear that might be around, it's there that says, yes, this is correct for me. It might be scary. It might be a little bit different than I've ever done before, but it's something that I need to step into. And that's what this energy is really telling us. As much as the 3420 channel is talking about power, charisma to get things done, the sun in the gate 34 line 6 is called common sense. And this is really saying, okay, yes, you have the power. Yes, you can steamroll over people. Yes, you can get things done in a way where you're pushing people around to do what you want them to do, but is it really something you want to do for the rest of your life? Is it something that you want to keep pushing people? This is like how we lead. If we look at the sixth line, we're moving into 2027 with the sixth line energy of leadership, which is really saying that it is about you being an example of yourself, and you are leading people to be an example of themselves, or to be their authentic selves. In other words, you're living your life as your authentic self, and other people are being inspired to do the same thing. And this is a leadership. So in other words, you're teaching by just doing what you're doing, as opposed to actively saying you need to do this. And this is what this energy is saying. Do we want to continue to push the power around and sort of force things? Or can we just say, okay, let's let things flow, instead of like this aggressively, let's move forward in this world with this kind of energy. And we could even see this globally, where these powers are finally, potentially looking at how they're using their power and saying, okay, we've done it this way for so long. Let's see if there's another way we can use our power in a way where we're empowering people instead of disempowering them. And that is one of the main key themes that we see with this full moon. But we also have Mars in the gate 34 line 3. And this is kind of the immature version of the sixth line energy, where it's about, oh, I have the power. I can do it. I can push my agenda. I can do what I want to do. and nobody can tell me what to do. Nobody can stop me. And so you have this duality between the sixth line saying, okay, enough of all this, macho stuff, because the gate 34 line 3 where Mars is called machismo. Enough of the macho stuff. Let's look at how we can make the world a better place. Let's look at how we can use our power in a sustainable way where everybody feels empowered. So this is the duality. So we can step into the middle way where we're using our power in the way it needs to be used, when it needs to be used, and letting go and letting people be and do what they need to do, as well as we're kind of getting what we need to get done as well. And then we have Pluto moving into the gate 69.3, which just happened a few days ago. And this is the last time Pluto is going to be in this energy in the gate 69.3 for another 248 years. In other words, this is saying it's going to give us the message that we need about transforming how we work with the limitations of our lives. And the limitations here are limitations that we work with and we look at and we see as being part of our life until one day we transcend them because they're no longer necessary for us, for our evolution. Because all the limitations that the gate 60 are bringing, the limitations that the gate 60 brings are related to this idea of mutation and transformation and evolving and getting that thing that really matters to you so that you're growing, you're evolving in some way where you can see the world with new eyes, and that it's like this level of maturity that happens when you transcend, or the obstacles move out of your way. They just kind of move out of your way just at the right timing. That limitation, that roadblock just gets cleared away, and you've really not done much about it other than you realize, okay, well, this is the roadblock. I have to work around it. I just have to, this is part of my life. And now it suddenly releases. And that's when we say we transcend those limitations. The alternate side with the Pluto and the gate 69.3 is this concept of, I'm done with these limitations. I won't do this anymore. I'm going to push through it. Having said that, you can always do that. We can always decide what we want to do with our lives. And the one thing with this is that if you decide to push through the limitations of Pluto before you have this opportunity to transcend them, first of all, you won't get that mutation. You won't get that upgrade that, Pluto can bring you. The other perspective is there's always going to be a price to pay, because what Pluto says is that these are important obstacles in your life to allow you to grow, to allow you to shift and change, to mature, to be that better version of you. And when you don't want to wait around, that is always your choice. But ultimately, what usually happens is a new limitation will show up. So in other words, you have the roadblock, you ram your car through, and then you go, a couple feet up the road, and suddenly you have another roadblock. And this is sort of what it says. So yes, everybody's entitled to push through the limitations and not wait for them to sort of be transcended by the nature of being. But the alternative is, to wait and to get that download and to get that mutation and to get that transformation that Pluto promises. And so that's kind of a choice that we're sort of looking at and deciding, which way do I want to go? Which direction will I decide? Will it be to wait and be frustrated, but then suddenly realizing that this is part of your evolution, this is part of your trajectory in life? Or alternatively, to say, I'm done with this, and I'm willing to pay the cost, whatever that is, for pushing through it. The Earth is in a very almost magical line in some ways, in that it is this idea of the gate 20 line 6. It's wisdom. Now, the wisdom that comes here is this universal wisdom that comes and says, here's a new way of moving forward into life. Here's a new way that humanity can look at the world around them. There is a way we've always been doing things and being, and now there's something new, and now there's something better. It's almost like there's this gift, but it's in a treasure chest, and it's only at a specific time that we get the key to open up this treasure chest. But in order for us to open the treasure chest, we have to have a universal consensus. In other words, the rest of the world have to be ready to do that, or a good percentage of them. And whether or not that happens is always related to the idea, is the world ready to change? And that is sort of an opening that we have with the Earth in the gate 20 line 6, whether or not we're ready to change, to move into new energy, to not do things like we've always done them, is really a choice that humanity will make. And how that will play out, we'll not know. But having said that, this is an opening that is possible. And even from a personal perspective, you could even say that there is an opening that is possible. And, are you willing to make the changes that are necessary for you to move into this new way of being? And that's what the gate 20 line 6 is asking us all. The South Node is in the gate 32 line 4, but also Venus is in the gate 32 line 1. And this is back to this idea of moving forward, continuity, trying to continue to move up in the proverbial ladder of life, trying to get better things for yourself. And that in order for you to continue to advance and to grow and to change and to get, more benefits in your life, that change is essential. And this is talking about change being key, but also understanding that change is something that takes time. It takes details. It takes, good plans to make it happen. So even if we want to rush through and sort of get everything, just get it done, this is saying that slow and steady wins the race. And this is something that was very prevalent in the eclipses of October. So it's basically just reminding you, maybe you've started some changes. Maybe things are going a little slower than you want to. But guess what? We have your back. Keep persevering. Things will move in the right direction, but just stick with the process. Stay with the process, because eventually things can unfold and open up in ways that you may never have imagined. So just basically it's saying stay the course, because you just don't know what you're going to get if you do continue to move forward in this direction. Last but definitely not least is Jupiter moves into the gate 27 line 6. And this is really a nice energy. And I think that, with the global environment, this is bringing in this idea of, our generation that's coming in the future. The future generations are important. And we need to leave something good for these children, so that they can grow and nurture and have a life just like everyone else does. So Jupiter is in this energy and trying to expand this energy of, let's make the world a better place because of us being here. And how can we do that? How can we make the world a better place for the children of the future, for the generations of the future? And again, we're back into the sixth line of where we're moving into when we move into 2027, the sixth line, which is this idea of blossoming and blooming and shifting and sort of being your authentic self and walking in your own authority, being your own authority, understanding that you are the person who knows what is best for you as opposed to anybody else. So this is saying that if we see the sixth line as the archetype for the future, then the energy of the gate 27 line 6 strives toward a world where we're all sovereign and we're self-sufficient, and it's where we walk the path of our lives in authenticity. Bottom line is we're only here for a certain amount of time, and it is asking you, what do you want to leave as your legacy? What kind of light can you bring into the world that can make the world a better place? By being involved in something that lights you up, your light starts to spread through the world. So with that said, I hope you have a wonderful full moon, and I will be back again soon. Until then, take care and bye for now.